On behalf of our Premier, the Honourable Kathleen Wynne, I'd like to bring greetings to the Honourable Michel Jean, Jean-Daniel Lelon, and Dr. John Osborne, and the rest of the wonderful team here at Carleton University, the university I had the opportunity to attend many years ago, and the Michel Jean Foundation, who's made this forum possible. And I'd like to thank all of the participants who have traveled far and wide to be here tonight, and everyone joining us online. After a successful inaugural forum last year, it's great to see so many people come together from so many different disciplines to be here this weekend. While you represent a wide range of sectors, from doctors and lawyers, health specialists, urban planners, business leaders, academia, and of course artists, there's one thread that is constant here, and it's our belief that art can be a tool used to change our society. And it's that belief that has brought us all here tonight. Since being appointed the minister responsible for culture for the province of Ontario back on June 24th, I've had the privilege of seeing firsthand the impact of arts and what they can do to help individuals and the communities here in the province of Ontario. Last week I had the opportunity to visit the TIFF Centre where Real Canada was having an event, and they brought in some newcomers from across Toronto into an event, and they actually showed them different movies that were created by Canadian artists. And it was interesting to hear their response, because these were new Canadians, you know, usually 3 years or under, talk about some of the experiences that people had in these films. And it was quite remarkable hearing their interpretation of what has happened in those films. And as the former Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, it was interesting because the immigration piece in regards to the experience one has here in Canada can also, you know, it can be a struggle, it can be full of hardship, trying to find the right school, the right location, the job you want. But then the citizenship and the culture piece and the, you know, the things that are all part of the arts really is the second stage to citizenship. It's about really celebrating the values and the things that make us as Canadians very, very proud. So it was interesting having a conversation with many of those folks. Last month I had the opportunity to host the Premier's Arts Award for Excellence, and I had the opportunity to meet some really remarkable people. In this position I get to meet so many wonderful artists, like many people here today, that really make a strong difference in our communities. Artists like Christy Belcourt, who's a Métis woman, who has a piece at the Parliament buildings, which is a stained glass, looking at and as a memorial to those who survivors of the residential schools. But she has a new piece, and I had the opportunity to talk to her, called Walking with Our Sisters, which is a memorial, and it honors the lives of those who are missing or murdered throughout Canada, of our Indigenous women here. So it was quite remarkable. But the great thing about art and talking to these people right across the province who are so involved in art, it reminds me of the power of art. It has the power to anger us, to inspire us, to bring change, to challenge us, to provoke, transform, to do so many things and even heal us. And art is such an incredible thing for those different traits. Supporting engagement and participation in the arts is one of our top priorities here at the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport. And we do this through programs in our agencies like the Ontario Art Council and the Ontario Trillium Foundation. And you know, the Ontario Art Council is an incredible organization that's been around for over 50 years. And since we've formed government back in 2003, the Ontario Arts Council has been provided with almost $600 million to fund art programs across this province, and they're doing an exceptional job. The Ontario Trillium Foundation supports the important roles that arts play in the creation of vibrant communities here in Ontario. In 2013-14 alone, the foundation invested more than $22 million in funding arts and the culture sector here in Ontario. And I know that some of that contribution went to support tonight's event here today. And it's another example of the great work that the Trillium Foundation is doing here in Ontario to support arts. Next year, the foundation will be transforming its approach to granting by implementing a new framework that is designed to generate the greatest impact possible. This new framework includes evidence-based approach which is supported by the Canadian Index of Well-Being. What that means is the foundation will be placing greater emphasis on the ability of their investments in all areas, including arts, and to enhance our well-being as a community. And I think it's an important step for the foundation, and it represents the first major overhaul in the organization in regards to its funding model in the last 15 years. And through these agencies and other strategic investments, our ministry, the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and Sports, continues to support the great work of artists and organization throughout this great province. Our Premier here in Ontario, Kathleen Wynne, is a huge supporter of the arts and culture in this province. She understands that the funding to this sector is so important because not only is it an economic imperative, it's something that helps define us here as Ontarians and as Canadians, and helps strengthen our social fabric here in the province of Ontario. The Premier has given me a mandate, and it's outlined, I think, for the first time in this province. The mandate letters were made public, and if you go through the mandate letter, there's a strong priority within mine to really ensure that we work on building a cultural strategy here in the province of Ontario, so that we're better able to tell our stories and help a new generation to tap into their full potential, because in many ways it is about empowerment, it's about building confidence, it's about encouraging people, especially young people, to really get out there and make a difference in the world. In addition to my responsibilities as Minister of Tourism, Culture, and Sport, I'm also responsible for the Pan Am and Para-Pan Am Games, which are taking place next year in 2015. And this is going to be the largest multi-sport event in the history of Canada. You know, the last time Ontario held multi-sport games was back in 1930s, the British Empire Games. So, you know, 84 years ago was the last time we held a major multi-sport event here in the province of Ontario. So we're going to have 10,000 athletes and officials from 41 different countries participating in 51 different games. And those games will be held in 15 municipalities around the GTA. So it's going to be an exciting time for the province of Ontario and for Canadian athletes. And in fact, Lonely Planet just designated Ontario, Toronto and the GTA as one of the top 10 places to visit in 2015 because of the games. I want to end by really talking about the power of the arts. And for me, I was having a conversation with, I think his name's Buddha. Is he here? So he's back here. There, he's over here somewhere. And we were talking. There he is. And we were talking about, you know, what the arts have done to people like himself and myself. You know, growing up in a priority neighborhood in the city of Toronto, Flemington Park, you know, listening to hip-hop music, listening to my father's, calypso and reggae music, you know, really captured many different voices. And for me, sometimes, if I was a bit, happy, I would put on some calypso. If I was a bit sad, I'd put on some Bob Marley, and it would uplift my soul. If I was a bit angry, I'd put on some Public Enemy. But all of that music contributes to the way we feel and the way we are, and it helps shapes who we are as people. And I'm a big supporter of the arts. I'm not from the arts sector. I'm from the not-for-profit sector, from a sector responsible for literacy in Ontario. But I recognize without a question the power of art here in the province of Ontario. And our Premier is committed to ensuring that we continue to support culture, we continue to support tourism. We know it is an economic imperative, but we know more importantly, it makes us who we are as Canadians. So I want to thank everyone today. I want to thank the Foundation for the invitation to come out and say hello and to greet people. And you have a commitment from our government that will continue to work with the arts sector to ensure that it is funded, that it is capable of continuing to do the great things it does from a government standpoint. And I look forward to meeting some of you later. But also, I hope you have a wonderful 3 days here in Ottawa, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Ontario government, I wish you a great evening. Thank you.